So today we're going to learn about intonation as we've talked about during the warm-up activity and during the objectives, right? Hopefully you'll be able to know at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to tell how intonation changes the meaning of what you want to convey, right? And we'll do a little bit of activities in order to be able to realize that and to see that, wow, yeah, the intonation really changes what you're trying to say. So let's go. This is our lesson for today, all right? So what is an intonation? I have my board here with me, and you'll be able to see right here. Intonation is a pattern of pitch, of melody, right? And we talked about, during the warm-up, we talked about, that every language has a different type of intonation, right? And intonation matters because it changes the meaning of what you're trying to say. For instance, our lovely student here shared that in Chinese, the intonation of each word is different. And if you use the wrong intonation for a word, right, then the meaning of the word changes. And it's like that in English, although even we have stresses for each word, we also have intonation for sentences and phrases, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, why does it matter? Why are we doing a lesson on intonation? First of all, you want to sound more natural, right? You're here living in the United States, trying to learn how to sound more natural, trying to get adjusted to living here. And even if you, and I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to emphasize this, even if you pronounce each word of your sentences correctly, if you do not have the right intonation, you will sound very, very unnatural, right? So we want to make sure to be able to sound natural when we speak, when we present in our meetings, business meetings, when we talk with our colleagues and classmates, when we talk outside to strangers, right? That's one of the reasons. The second of why it matters, and this is so interesting, is that it changes. Intonation is used to convey meaning of your sentence, and also, and or emotion, the emotion behind it, behind what you're trying to say. And we'll see examples of this. All right. So, and the last one is, like we talked about, it changes the meaning according to the intonation. All right. So I'm going to give you an example. If you can see my example right here. All right. Can you read it for me? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, very good. All right. So she said, I didn't eat the last cookie. That would be just a very standard, you did such a good job. That's the standard way of reading a sentence, a statement. And we're going to talk about more about that. Like, how do we read statements and sentences, and how do we read or ask questions, right? But just listen to me say this, all right? And you're going to see what I mean by the meaning changes depending on how I use my intonation and stress, right? You read for us beautifully. You said, I didn't eat the last cookie. Now, hear me emphasize it, okay? I'm going to emphasize each word. I didn't eat the last cookie. What am I trying to say? I didn't eat the last cookie. It must have been John right over here. I mean, I'm not going to say who it is, but it's probably John. But it's not me. I didn't eat the last cookie, is what you're trying to say. You don't actually say it, but that's the meaning you're conveying, right? What about the next one? I didn't eat the last cookie. I didn't eat the last cookie. If I'm emphasizing didn't, what does that mean? Yeah, it sounds like somebody's accusing me and I'm trying to say, no, I didn't. I didn't eat your last cookie, right? Now, what about last, all right? So let me put emphasis on, I didn't eat the last cookie. Let's hear that again. I didn't eat the last cookie. What does that mean? Yes? Yes, it means I probably had other cookies except for the last one, right? I probably had, I could have finished the whole thing except for the last one and said, I didn't eat the last cookie. I don't know who did, but I didn't eat the last one. That's what I'm emphasizing, last, right? What about what about if I do, let's say, I didn't eat the last cookie. What does that mean? Let me try this again. I didn't eat the last cookie. Uh-huh. Okay. Yes, so very good. Exactly. So it may be we were at a party where there was a lot of food, and I could have eaten the last, the last, let's say dessert, some sort of like, let's say brownies or ice cream, but I didn't eat the last cookie. I had everything else until the end. I finished them all except for the cookies, right? That's what I mean when I say I didn't eat the last cookie. I ate the last brownie. I ate the last ice cream cup or ice cream cone, but I didn't have the last cookie, right? That's what I mean. So do you see, even in one sentence, by emphasizing different words, by putting stress and intonation on different words and making it sound different, the meaning you're trying to convey is totally different. Isn't that amazing? That's the beauty of melody in a language, right? All right, so next one I want to talk to you about is that we want to focus on. So how do we actually do it? All right, so how do we make the correct intonation? And you want to stress content words over function words. All right, we talked a little bit about this before, that in a sentence there are content words, words that are very, very important to the understanding of the content of the context, right? But there are also function words that don't really change a lot of meaning. They might play an important role, but usually you tend to gloss over them. You tend to just skim over them when you speak because they're not very important. They're not the important emphasized words that I want the hearer or the listener to listen to. For instance, what did you do last weekend? What am I trying to know? If I'm asking John over here, what did you do last weekend? What do I want to know from John? Mhm. Yeah, I want to know your activity over the last weekend, right? So I'm emphasizing what are some words, the function words that I really want to emphasize. Good. Weekend, right? I want to know what you did not yesterday, right? Not the day before. I want to know what you did on the weekend. So I want to emphasize weekend, right? So I'm going to circle that. What else? You're asking, like you said, yes. I'm asking you about the activity that you did, right? So do. That's the word that conveys that meaning. So I'm going to say, what did you do last weekend? All right. So did you see how I emphasize each word? What did you do last weekend? All right. Can you repeat after me? What did you do last weekend? Very good. All right. So you want to emphasize function words or sorry, content words over function words. All right. And lastly, I want us to look at sentences versus questions. All right. So in let's read this to yourself for a minute.